Hey guys, you're welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by and please consider subscribing. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. In this tutorial, we'll be looking at this bubu with a pleat around the sleeve region. And so to make it, I am folding my fabric into four. That's because I'm cutting the front and the back panels together. On the folded edge, which will serve as my shoulder line, I am placing 3 inches neck weight and 1.5 inches for the neck depth. Connecting this point, that will be for the back neckline. On the folded edge again, as my shoulder line, I am placing a half of my shoulder measurement, 3 inches forward, another 3 inches forward, and another 3 inches forward. That will be for the pleats. And then whatever I have left of this folded fabric will be for the sleeve length. Now from my shoulder line again, at the sleeve length, I am going downwards with 11 inches. At that point, I'm going inwards with 3 inches. I'll connect the sleeve length to the 3 inches. And that 3 inches, I will mark it all the way down to the desired length of this bubu. And then I'll connect it on a straight line all the way to the gown length. After that, I will go back to where I have the sleeve opening and just create a cuff like so for the sleeves, okay, because we do not need that sharp corner. Going back to the shoulder line, I want to mark the pocket opening, assuming I'm using 8 inches for my armhole plus 1 inch, assuming I must have had a shoulder slope. And then 9 inches downwards, that's 18 inches. At 19 inches, I am marking the pocket, okay? And then I'm using 7 inches for the pocket opening. Marking those points, okay? I'll then cut this part that we have 3 inches all the way to the sleeve opening, and I'll need to notch where I marked for the pocket opening. After that, from the shoulder line, I'm marking 7 inches downwards on the center front there, okay? And then I'll use the cuff part of this bottom master like so and connecting the neck width to that point. First off, I will need to cut out the neckline for the back panel. And for this bubu, I do not need to, slant my shoulder. So I will then separate the back panel from the front panel like you're seeing me trying to arrange it. So when I make sure that I have everything straight and neat, I'll then cut out the front neckline like so. So now I'll need to use this sequence velvet to make the patch that I need, okay? At the same time, I'll be using this to turn the neck, okay? And then I folded it into fabric. This is about a 1/4 yard of this sequence fabric, and I folded it into 2. For the sequence fabric, I am folding it into 2, and I need to align it with the folded edges, the folded part of the main fabric, okay, because I'll be using it to turn the neckline, remember. So I marked about 19 inches downwards. That will be for the front, and then I am cutting it out around the neckline like you can see me do. After that, I will just set the fabric aside. Note where I marked the length for the front panel, and I'll need to pin this down to keep it in one spot. And then for the back patch, I'm measuring 3 inches around all to where I have the shoulder line. At the shoulder line, I'm creating a straight line there. I am taking it on a straight line to where I have the 19 inches I marked for the front length of this patch. Cutting this out, okay, I'll need to notch the back the back part, okay, to get the midpoint, so it will ease me when I'm sewing. All right, removing my pins, and then I turn, to the right side, and I'll need to shape it out the way I desire. So feel free to use your creativity to create whatever pattern you want at this point. Back to the fabric, okay, I'll turn it to the wrong side of the Ankara, and then I'll bring in the patch that I've already created, aligning the front part there. I notch it and notch it on the sequence fabric as well, and then I'll bring them together. Now when you're placing the patch, the right side faces the wrong side of the fabric, okay, so you arrange it properly around the neck. Note where we have the notches for the mid back, and place it like so, and arrange it all the way around. You must use your pins at this point. Now when you're dealing with this sequence is very tricky because it's stretchy, so then I'll sew it round. Sewing it round, you need to notch this, and after notching, I'll turn it to the right side, and then I'll flip the fabric to the right side as well. Arranging it properly, I didn't want the fabric, the Ankara, to pop out at all. So I'll take it back to the machine and then top stitch and give it a good press. That's because I want the Ankara to stay right inside and not pop out at all. I need to make your work neat, okay, by so doing. So I have top notched and give it a good press, and you can see the Ankara is not popping out at all. And then I ironed 1/2 inch around the pattern, okay, so it will be neat when I'm sewing it down to the Ankara. I needed to pin this down because, like I said, I won't want it to go out of shape. So then I'll take it to the machine and sew it all the way around at the edge. Sewing it around, this is what we have, okay. So now remember the allowances we marked for the pleat. It was on the wrong side of the Ankara, but this time you're marking it on the right side, and then the length of that will stop at 28 inches. So that's around the hip line, all right. So now I'll mark it, and then the middle point of that, we mark 3 inches, 3 points for the 3 inches we are using. So the midpoint, that is what I picked, and then I drew a line just to be as a guide and pin it down. I'll take it to the machine and I'll sew it from the 28 inches I have in front. I'll sew it to the shoulder line and then take it down with 28 inches to the front as well. So 28 inches behind and 28 inches in front on a straight line. Remember, the shoulder line is folded, like it's not cut in two, so you're sewing all the way from the front to the back. So 28 plus 28, that's about 56 inches. That would be the length for the pleat. So this is it. I am done sewing it on both sides. So the next thing I want to insert the pocket, and then I'll sew it from the sleeve opening to the first notch, and I'll be using this black lining as my pocketing. So this black lining I measured about 18 inches length and 8 inches width. Remember, the pocket opening is 7 inches. So I'll sew it from the sleeve opening to the first notch, and then at that point I'll bring in the pocketing. So now at the width of 7 inches, I'm bringing this pocketing, and I'll pin it, making sure that half inch sticks out on both sides. Okay, so now the pocketing is 8 inches and the pocket opening is 7 inches. That means we have excess of half inch on both sides, and that's what I'm trying to say. So now when you're pinning it to the right side of the Ankara, so that after sewing it, it will go inwards. And watch the way I'm pinning this pocket. So you're pinning it to the right side. So pinning it to the right side on both sides, I'll take it to the machine and use half inch to sew. And then for the edges of the pocketing, I'll use half inch to sew all the way around. So turn it inside out for us to see how I sew the pocket. Okay, so after sewing to the main fabric, I'll need to close the edges so it will be all covered. From the sleeve opening, I will sew it to where I have the first notch top stitch, and from the hem there, from the gown length, I will sew it to where I have the second notch and stop stitch. So when I'm done with the pocket and I've sewn the sides, we are almost done with the bubu. So the next thing now, I will hem the sleeve length. I will hem the sleeve. Okay, I'll be using about 3/4 or 1 inch for this hemming, and then I will do the hemming at the gown length. And when I'm done with that, this is what we have. So if this video adds any value to you at all, give me a thumbs up, share and comment. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.